Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Paint Party Livestream. It's so good to be with you this evening. My name is Steve, as you probably know, and it's great to be back in the studio for another Monday night live stream. If you've been around before, you know how this works. It is pretty laid back. Pop in, pop out, stay as long as you'd like. This is my Learn to Paint journey. Several years ago, I started teaching myself to paint using primarily YouTube tutorials, and I continue that process. Try to every week on Monday evenings here in my home studio with you, and tonight is no different. I hope that your week is going great and off to a good start, and that you had a great weekend. Here in the US, we are heading towards the Thanksgiving holiday, and so it is all that busy time of year, but I hope tonight is a night or is a time you can take some time and just relax and hang out with me here. You can participate in the live stream wherever you're watching us via the comments. Feel free to make a comment, ask a question. I always enjoy interacting with you here on the live stream through the comments. Let me switch my camera over here to this one, washed out a little bit, and we will get this all set up so that you can see my canvas, and then I will show you what we're going to do tonight. Over the last several weeks, we have been doing focused on some master copies where I'm really trying to learn how to portray light and the light effect of light more accurately and more artistically. And that's part of what I am doing in my own development as an artist. But tonight, I want to take some of the backlog of images that I have taken where I thought, ooh, this would make an interesting painting, or this would be an interesting painting to attempt. And so we're going to do that this evening and take a little break from the master copy process that we have been following over the last several weeks and really months. So let me show you. This is where is it? So this is the image that I'll be working from this evening. This is the image, and then we will let me put this over here so you can see my palette as I mix paints. Yeah, there we go. We'll get this set up so you have a great view. All right, hope that is clear. All right, and I will get my welcome. There's a few more people popping in. So good to have you on the live stream. Thank you for popping in. Again, you can feel free to ask questions or make comments via the comments wherever you're watching. Most of the time they pick up, although I saw on Facebook last week, I got some of the comments and then other ones didn't come through, and I have no idea why that is. And that's really frustrating. So if I don't respond to your comment, it's probably because I'm not seeing it, and I apologize for that. My software usually displays all the comments that I am getting, but clearly not always. All right, we will get started. Let me actually put on some gloves. This is a scene outside of Sturgis, South Dakota. This summer, I went to a tractor or threshing bee out there, and this tractor was sitting out in front of this mountain. This is Bear Butte outside of Sturgis, and Bear Butte in the background. Kind of a different view than I normally see of this mountain, but I thought it was so interesting. The bright kind of red of this of this tractor. So that's what we're gonna do. And I am on a 7x9 canvas this evening. Let me get that switched over. There we are. You can see my canvas, and we will get it going. I think I'm going to kind of go back to I need some good drawing brushes that are kind of I think I'll use, well, maybe this one. It's kind of fat and ugly. And I will take a little bit of odorless mineral spirits and thin down this paint. This is a burnt umber that I can kind of draw in. Let me look at, and let's see, because I don't have my what is it? My reference is on the screen as opposed to right next to me. I didn't print this one off, so I'm going to give some it's about right there. That's where the mountain starts to come in, and we're going to bring it over a little bit. Whoops, then there. It's about the top of the mountain, so we'll kind of give it some that's probably way too much. Definitely, since this is, let's see, outside of the tire, outside of the tire. Okay, and yeah, that's so strange. I'm trying to get a few measurements in. We'll just kind of draw some basic shapes, and then we'll, of course, adjust these. It's always, I think, good to practice. For me, it's good to practice kind of freehand drawing. There we go, and we'll, of course, do that. But it gives us the basic shape of the tractor. And there's kind of a shadow underneath here. a little bit. It's pretty direct sun. And then we're coming out to here. We kind of want it to subtly slope the grass. Then this over here, that is the there we go. Kind of gives us some benchmarks. I don't know if that works, but that works for me. Hey there. Yes, it is. It was right when it was right up there against the fence before we kind of went into the main area. This was actually a big, long landscape, and I moved the tractor over so I could get the mountain. I mean, in the original photo, it's clear off to the side, and it's a big, long. And that would be a cool painting to do a long, like, panorama look. But for this, I just wanted to put them in the same composition. So that's what I did. Just kind of moved it over. So in the reference photo, that tractor, you can tell, is not quite, it's kind of clip arted out of there, if that makes sense. Okay. Let's see. I wonder if we can get the basic I think I'm gonna do, let's see. I think I am going to do some sky and clouds. That way we can start moving forward. And I think I'm going to saturate the sky a little more just to make it more interesting. So that is kind of what we're going for tonight. Welcome everybody else just coming in. Glad to have you. Hope you're having a great week. And it's off to a good start. So good to be back in studio. It's been a couple months almost with my trip out of country. Okay. I am going to again mix this sky color. It looks almost greenish blue, but it is not. It is a great sky blue. And we will see, once you get it on the white canvas, then it's like, oh, that's really blue. And we will take this across the top. We'll really have to work it into the, while I have it, I'm going to do the edge of this canvas. We really want to take it into this canvas panel so that it kind of soaks into the little ridges so we don't get little edges of white showing. That's what I'm trying to do. Just covering up that edge, and then, okay. Now, what I'm gonna do is, I think, obviously we want to, as it goes more towards the horizon, we want it more translucent. So we'll mix more white down here. We probably need a little bit of green as well, I think. Whoops. I wonder if we take this, what does it do? Yeah, I think that works. There we go. Want it a little, so off to the left, you're getting the glare of the light, but we want it almost yeah, kind of a greenish. There it shows more, it's almost teal, but as it gets closer to the horizon, it's got to be more. And this is too saturated, but we can always come in and adjust that. And again, I've said this before, but the reason that it's more desaturated towards the horizon is because we're looking through more of the atmosphere. That makes sense. So I'm going to begin to even this out a little bit. We'll raise the, if we can, a little bit of the, want to diffuse it a little bit, or a lot bit, so that we have a good blend. Almost need kind of a, yeah, that's what I need. But we need a thicker brush to kind of, what I'm beginning to do is to blur these edges so that I can come in and put some clouds in. We'll bring some of this blue down in here. Again, just so it looks like a nice gradient. Okay, and some of this needs to now, what I want to do is come back with this. We need a kind of, we need the white, but it needs to have some kind of a little tint of the purple. A little bit brown maybe. Needs to be kind of a grayish color. White. Here we go. Load up the brush, and then I want to come in here, do this kind of everyone's quiet tonight. Must be it's kind of dreary weather here in the mountains. I don't know if it's dreary where y'all are, but it's just kind of the stereotypical fall evening where it's like, oh, I just want to curl up and go to sleep. There we go. Then we can just kind of feather this in, and it just kind of mushes and fades into a lot of nothing. Now notice how much more realistic it looks when you go from kind of a greenish blue to the that kind of cobalt blue, and you get this blend of, it looks so much more realistic because you are Yeah. And it's just a subtle thing that is, it's very subtle, but it's something that your eye notices and says, oh, that's somehow right. Now I'm just blending that in so it's not as severe, because these are very, very soft clouds that are kind of just, I wonder if we can take a little bit of that. Wonder if we could. I still haven't figured it out exactly how to do, what the best way to do clouds are. So what I'm trying to figure out is a shadow shade. I don't know, a very subtle, but it's almost like there's a little blue in it as well. Because the thing is so translucent. These are almost too purple though. I don't know. Maybe not. Yeah, you want kind of a where it's like I kind of see it, but I'm not sure if it's actual clouds or if it's just part of the sky. Well, I think that's pretty good. What do y'all think? So, I kind of want to, I don't know, is anybody watching on YouTube? If you're watching on YouTube and you can put a comment in, let me know, because I'm just curious. Everyone's quiet, which is fine, but I'm really curious if anybody's watching on the various platforms or what. Now I'm just kind of playing with this a little bit. I don't want to mess too much. But I want it to feel authentic, like it's just whispery and there's part of the sky you can see through. Yeah, the more little whispers of form that we see, the more it looks real. But these are very whispery clouds way out in the distance, so you want it mostly flat like this. But that makes me happy. How this kind of is coming together. Because it feels, I think, pretty authentic. Okay, I'm not going to keep messing with that because I don't want to distract. I want it to be kind of blended like that. Okay. That is good, y'all. Let's see. Yep, I am live on YouTube because I got an email saying so. Okay, that's good. I've used all these brushes. Okay, well, we can use them again, I guess. The sky, I don't think we're going to have to go back and really shouldn't have to touch this up too much. It should be pretty good. Just smooth. Yep. Okay, now we want to get our mountain in if we can. Let's take a look at this. What brush can we use? I want something that is a little, not too firm, but maybe this will work. And we want to come in with kind of that, want a real kind of, let's see if we can mix this color. It's kind of a reddish green. And we'll take some of this gray from the I'm not sure what color that is. want a little, and I'll take some of this gray to diffuse it a little bit. Need a little touch of green in there. And it's red. Okay, it needs more. I don't know exactly what it needs. That's what's weird. More of this color? It's not really. It's kind of that pink color. It's more of that, I think. And then we just gotta really... Oh, sorry. Now I'm moving off your screen, but it's gotta be this. Trying to get kind of a little too yellow. I don't know what. More green. A little blue cut. The violet will cut the blue. Okay. I think this is a good color down in here. So we'll kind of see if we can do that. Give us some. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I know it's, I saw that it was simulcasting. I got an email that I usually see it after the show, but I had my email open so I could see that it. I could see that it. Okay, now let's see if we can mix this a little bit better. So we need this, but it's almost like this. We need more of the brown, red tone. so that there's a little bit different in the green. But I think it's maybe like this. Let's see. Yeah, it's a little too red. But I did move this mountain over a little bit because I like it more I like it more this way as opposed to right up against the side. So that's why it might look a little bit off. But let's take oh, I don't want it. It needs to definitely. There we go. It works. Now, I need to do some, let's see. What I'd like to do is kind of mess around a little bit with some shadows. The deepest shadows are going to be right there in the corn. I'm not sure exactly how to do the shadows, but that's kind of to get more flat and less intense out here. Then we want to, right along this edge, want we want a pretty even line there. Then we want to take this yellow into that. I think do kind of a we want in here and then here we want pretty light we want to get pretty light here and just have like the edge of the I don't really know. Again, we just have to sell the illusion. And it's a bunch of that. And I think we do some kind of more yellow, especially as we get up in here. I think I was fooled by the color. Because I think I got these values wrong. So we'll figure out. Because look how close these and these are. But in the photo, this is a much deeper, darker value than here. So I either have to go really, really light, which is fine, like a bright yellow, very pale, because we need those mountains to really stand out. Again, all of this is it's just a comparison. It's adjusting all the values. We're kind of just getting some ground covered. I guess that works. It's sort of light enough. thing I always have to remember or remind myself also is that photos capture much more than our eyes do. And so I just have to give the illusion of all these things. I don't have to paint exactly what I see. It's picking what things you see. That's part of the art, I guess. And this is a light, kind of grayish green. It's closer, so some of that green will come through. But we want more. key, I think, to this looking realistic is not painting every patch in the ground that I see, but basically a variety of lighter and darker spots that communicate the unevenness of the ground and the variations in how the ground is growing and mowed and or not mowed. I just want to get this all covered in generally the right value, meaning the light, darkness, or lightness, which I think we have. Okay. And then that gives us kind of the line and there is a very I think a white green, light green that I want to mix here, and it goes right kind of along this line. Yeah, because there's a there are these lines that are mowed in here. have to keep working because this canvas is showing through. So we gotta just keep putting in different patches until it, and it's not horrible if there's a little bit, but want all kinds of variations. And we need a really bright green. It's kind of goes in. There we go. Let me step back a little bit. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I like it. Now we can go back, I think, to the needed a more blue-green, but we can go put the tree line in here. think it's getting there. At least for a little. Quick sketch. Okay, that's interesting to me, and I think I'm going to step back. Yeah, I think that's cool. It's not quite perfect, but it's all right. It's all right. Yeah. Now, I want to come back to this again. Little green. Yes. This part, yeah, that's what I'm coming in and putting in the dark shadows so that it has something to basically, and I may have to come back later. It is a very dark green, actually. You may not be able to differentiate, but because this is wet on wet, I want to, and I'm trying to figure out how to do this without, drawing every blade, because I can see on the reference, you can see every kind of blade of the corn. So I want to figure out a way to show that or reflect that without us having to see every little. I'm just coming in and putting like shadows and various configurations so that I don't want it to look too consistent. I mean, I don't want it to look like it's just all the same. And I'm using a really fairly big brush, so that's also a challenge, but it's on purpose. There. Now, let's see. Out here, we need to flatten the pattern the further it gets away from us. And also back here. There. Now, what can we do? Now that we have some dark shadows in, now we should be able to come in with some additional greens. As we were saying, we want green. Let's do this yellow so we get kind of a bright green. I wonder if we can take a little like that. We don't want to do a lot, but we can do some places where the sun catches. The light, or catches the hopefully this will read like corn in a little bit. Okay, now I need a very bright green. To I'm putting in some basically standing up almost yellow strokes of paint in here. And I hope that will read as kind of stalks of corn. Again, I'm kind of learning, figuring this out as we go. Trying to figure out what's gonna, I think that's starting to sort of look corn-like. Wonder if some bluish green then will help us. Some blue green in here. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe it will just complicate things. There. Okay. Now, the thing I have to work on is this tractor and making it look correct. That's going to be the next big challenge, I think, because I think we're slowly getting the right values here and here. When you step back, it's reading well. Now I need, whoops, to see my, this is, I think, more of a, about 20 minutes. Let's see if we can get some of this. Let's see if we can get this. If we can get this. we can get this tractor kind of drawn in here. No worry, Bob G. I'm glad you found it eventually. So good to see you. Excited for your big week. I hope you're all rested up and ready to party hardy. All right, we'll mix some magenta with some cad red medium. That'll give us that dark. Then we can this is where I do want to draw pretty accurately, or as accurately as I can. See, I think this wheel is too far out, so I'm adjusting as I go. Oh my goodness, that actually sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. I am definitely in the wrong place at the wrong time right now. Okay, for the shadow parts, I'm mixing the red and magenta with ultramarine blue, so we have a really deep, almost like a purple, even though it looks black there. We'll see what we can do. Just try to put in the parts. There we go. Kind of. And we'll have to put some green in there. So let me see if I can do that. Just some basically. Just to show we're seeing what's back there. And I'll have to come back and kind of fix this, but maybe we can. Maybe it's I'll have to definitely do another layer on this, I think. Or another sitting on this. But we'll kind of do some of this so it has some shape. Mm-hmm. Caramel. Yes, I'm a caramel fan. I know not everybody is, right? That's okay. All right, let us see if we can put in a, do I have a brush I can use that's already dirty? It's tough with this red brush. I really need to just set it aside because red is so aggressive, not toxic. It's just aggressive. And it's got a lot of pigment. Okay, let me see if I can, what are these black, the tires? I don't know what color this is or how to make it. Maybe a little bit of white, some, I guess it's kind of that color. Okay, let's see if we can start to draw in a shape that sort of, oops. I want to start giving the illusion of this shadow under here as well. I don't like painting man-made things. man-made. I'll remember to try another excuse to eat a little ice cream. There should always be an excuse, right? Or you should never need an excuse, I guess. That's what we should say. The challenge with doing something like this is your brain knows it's a circle, and it's so easy just to make it around a circle instead of really like, okay, what do I see? Because we want to be able to see the perspective of, the direction it is, not just a circle. We want to see it a little flatter on the bottom. Otherwise, enjoy ice cream. Yeah, that's the thing. I think we can enjoy it any time with any toppings, right? I have some caramel chunk ice cream in my freezer, and I need to get rid of it before it gets too cold, because when it's cold outside, you don't want to be eating ice cream. So I think that's the excuse I need to really double down and do my part to get rid of this ice cream as quickly as possible before it gets really too cold. It's very important that I do my part, I think, because I'm the only one in my house, so I really need to take this seriously. Okay, now I need to take that. We need to do this kind of maroon. Now we need I'm going to take my blue, get rid of that. Let's see. I'll come back and again at another sitting when it is dry and put the white in a little more solidly. But I kind of want to just get the I think that's pretty good. Okay, now let's see if we can we do this? I don't know if we can do on this tire. Maybe way too much. It's too much mush, I think. We're gonna have to come back and I think we'll have to come back and fix that in a separate sitting because it's very mushy, very mushy. But we might be able to kind of start to put idea of a because it's got to come this way. Not bad for half an hour or less. Want to come back there, then I want to make sure that when I was doing this lighter color is, so it is clear that that is a separate tire, that there's two tires there. We'll see. Then, yeah, I think that's pretty good for our first from nothing. Yes, yes, yes. I think that is pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now the only thing we're missing is steering, which I'll have to come back and do probably. The detail work, but I want to kind of put in where this seat is. Then we'll put in a steering little steering line, but that's basically it. Okay. I think that's pretty good for tonight. Let me step back. What do you guys think? Hey, Shirley, sorry I didn't see the message earlier. So good to see you. Thanks for always popping in and saying hi. Really appreciate it. All right. I like that. So that is Bear Butte at this summer's Threshing Bee outside Sturgis. Let me clean some of this up. If you will allow me a minute, and then I will say goodnight. Let me switch the camera here to say hello and goodnight. It's Mama Funk. Mama Funk. Are you from this area? Do you know Bear Butte and that area? I appreciate you popping in. All right. Let us clean the rest, but I won't keep you on to watch it. Let me flip this around so I can say a proper good night. Thank you everyone who joined me this evening. We will be back next Monday evening, same bat time, same bat channel here in beautiful Black Hills of... Oh my goodness, I live in RC. Yeah, you are right here. I'm in Lead, actually. So yeah, we're very close. I'm glad you popped in. That's so cool. It is a small world. It is a small world. Crazy, crazy. I heard you guys are getting a new medical center down there. I'm so excited. We're going to have options and competition, which is good. All right. Let me switch back to our webcam here. So there is Bear Butte and the red tractor and the threshing bee this summer. Not bad for just a couple hours of quick painting. I'm really proud of how this is coming out. It just captures the moment that I wanted from the reference photo. Again, we saturated the sky a little more and did a gradient because that's going to look more realistic because we're looking through more of the atmosphere when we look closer to the horizon. And then getting our values right on the mountain and in these kind of close areas really helps it to read that it's in the distance, but not too far, and the corn is right there. So I'm really proud of this cute little 7x9 study. All right, I'm gonna go clean up, but I wanna say thank you again. I hope that you have a great week. And yeah, you can follow here, of course, wherever you're following, but primarily YouTube. Yeah, we will be on next Monday night, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and I hope to see you again. Thanks so much, everyone. Again, I'm Steve, and it has been wonderful having you here in the studio with me this evening. Have a great evening, and we will see you next time.